rights and some laws. We can go through it very quickly because these are just the amendments. I'll try to see what we can set some kind of record. All right, First Amendment's very important. A lot of times you'll see on the AP test, you'll see the Establishment Clause. That just means on First Amendment religion, the federal government cannot establish a religion like the Baptists cannot be our national religion. Also, you may see the Free Exercise Clause. That means we cannot, excuse me, we cannot stop you from worshiping the way that you're supposed to, or the way you want to. Okay, we already talked about clear and present danger, freedom of speech. Symbolistic speech, that means like flag burning, Texas case, Texas Johnson case said that you could burn the American flag because that's part of your personal freedom. Now we all know Amendment 2, right to bear arms. Amendment 3, you cannot house troops. So we'll pass by those four. Says there cannot be any unreasonable search and seizure. That would mean warrants for us, and that would probably include the Matz case and the Miranda case, and so on. The Fifth Amendment set up three things, or actually more, but double jeopardy. You cannot be tried by the state for the same crime two times. Self-incrimination, you or your spouse cannot be forced to testify against you. Due process, anything that's on the books, you have the right. So they cannot say you can have a trial by jury and you cannot. Sixth Amendment said a lot of things. Right to have a lawyer is one of them. Right to face your accusers is another one. Speedy trial, you cannot be put in jail for a long, long time. Seventh Amendment set up a trial by jury for almost anyone. Eighth Amendment, you cannot have any punishment that's cruel and unusual. The first part of that is there cannot be any excessive bails or fines. Ninth Amendment was not very important, just said that you have more rights than are listed in the Constitution, but the Supreme Court used the Ninth Amendment on their decision of Roe versus Wade. That kind of made that a little bit important. 10th Amendment set up reserved rights. We already talked about that. 13th Amendment freed the slaves. 14th Amendment was important. Of course, it gave the slaves citizenship. But what it did is set up, you cannot be denied your liberty without due process and equal protection under the law. And that's what the Brown case was based on, and so on. It also used the 14th Amendment to say that some of the amendments could be incorporated, which means they could be added to the Constitution, to the states. 17th Amendment made the senators to be elected by a popular vote. Of course, 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. And the 22nd Amendment limited the president to 2 terms. We talked about the 25th Amendment. 26th Amendment lowered the voting age to 18. And some of the laws that we need to be familiar with is get over here, the Jim Crow laws that was designed to keep the free slaves from voting, the grandfather laws, and so on. Y'all can read that as well as I can. But one of the, I think, two important things that will maybe come up every other year is the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It was celebrating its 50th birthday this year, so maybe they'll put it on there. It just says you cannot discriminate against people in public places or jobs. Also, the Voting Rights of 1965 says you cannot keep people from voting based on their race or the color, no matter what tricky things you decide to have. Okay, let me get to where not. Okay, come on. All right. And comparable worth, that means women should be paid the same even if they don't work in the same building. For example, Walmart man being a manager and a Kmart woman getting a manager, they both should be paid the same. Disability Act says you cannot discriminate against someone just because they got a handicap. Affirmative action says some minorities we have held back, so we're going to give them an advantage. We're going to save spots in colleges and give them an advantage on their jobs and so on. All right, real quickly, that's 5 minutes, and hopefully that helps.